Hello and very warm welcome everyone, it's Marta. Welcome on my channel or welcome back. Let me know if you're revisiting or you're here for a very first time. My friends, today I have absolutely fabulous design, a super wowzer card, but it's very easy and you really need a trimmer and scoring board and you're good to go. Even if you're a beginner, I'm sure you can create it. I will be giving you both measurements, metric and imperial, so whatever you use, I've got you covered. This beautiful paper, just a quick information. This card I've created is a part of the design team work for the Art Story company. So that's why I was sharing with you all these beautiful papers, and I do have the links down below in case anyone wants to check them. Now, I had a bunch of the white strips, which I use a punch to create these lovely borders, and then I check with the rulers so how much length I need them to be, so I have the whole pattern. It was a little hard, so I didn't want to cut it like halfway through, so I wanted to have this nice lacy border, and I've decided to go with 13 centimeters or 5 inches. Now I am taking A4 size card, white piece, or you can use a colored cardstock, doesn't matter. And then we're gonna need like a 4 long strips. This is cut lengthwise, so they should be like longer bits, and you cut them like 1 inch wide or 2.5 centimeter. And then you're gonna place them on the scoring board and you will score them at 13 and 26 centimeter or 5 and 10 inches, and the remaining bit, whatever left, it will serve you as a flap, and once you glue two together you should have this nice square, and you need 2 of those, so cut 4 strips. And now we are going to be creating pillars. And for these, you will either need 12 centimeters by 21 or 4 3/4 by 8 1/4. So you take A4 size card and you chop it either at 12 centimeters or 4 3/4. And now we're going to be scoring it. You score it every inch, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 2.5 centimeters, so that will be 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. And this is so easy, everyone can do it. Once you look on the final card, like final result, this is a true wowzer, but it's so easy to make. Everyone can do it, and I'm absolutely astonished. And one more thing I want to say, this is not my original design. I usually try to come up with something myself, but this card I actually spotted on a Facebook on Jamie Rogers' account, and I had a quick look on his card and I was like, oh wow, I really need to do it. I'm changing the sizes slightly. I don't even know what size it was his band because I didn't check it, but I'm just making kind of in my twist, but I wanted to honestly let you know that this card I didn't come up with this idea, so to say that. However, once you score those pillars, you have to work them really well. So once you glue them, fold them back and forth a couple of times to break the fiber. This will really improve the final product, so the card will fold nicely. And I'm gonna be dressing it up. Now I'm doing a little bit math here, so I'm trying to count how many centimeters I need to cut so I could cut off the strips out of it, but you don't have to do it. It's just enough, like your pillars are 1 inch wide or 2.5 centimeter. In that case, cut yourself a strips which will be like 7/8 of the inch, a teeny tiny bit smaller than 1 inch, or maybe like 2 and 2 millimeter. Like if you've got 2.5 centimeter, then make those strips 2 centimeters and 2 millimeters, just so you could have this nice white border all around. The biggest work for this card today is actually cutting those strips, and I'm gonna be cutting them in two different color cardstock, and the other one will be slightly smaller, so I could have matte and layer. It's not necessary that you have to do all this work. If you like to make your card quicker, you can create only one layer. You don't have to make two. But I do think that for this kind of a very elegant look, it's always nicer to, make that extra step. And to be honest, this card took me less than, 2 hours, probably like hour and a half to make. So it wasn't as long. Now, here's the tip, my friends, for cutting those little strips. Instead of doing some calculation and trying to subtract this odd numbers like 1 and 8 1 centimeter 8 millimeters or something. Here's what I do. I cut my first strip, and then I am placing it on top each time, each time cutting it from the same first strip. Use the same one as a guide, and you will have those equal strips. So every time I'm cutting it, and this one will be even smaller. So the first one was 7/8 of the inch, and this one will be 6/8 of the inch. So 3/4 of the inch. Sorry. And if you had it like 2 and 2 centimeters, 2 millimeters, cut those one in 1 centimeter and 8 millimeters. So this is what I did, and then each time I trimmed them slightly smaller lengthwise as well, so I have this nice border all around. And now I am gluing all those strips. I'm using the bookbinding glue, just in case you are wondering. I think this is a great adhesive. I've just discovered it. This magic glue is actually a Polish glue, but you can use PVA, you can use your regular glue. It's better to use liquid adhesive, so you could have a little bit more room to wiggle. And once I glue all those strips one on top of another to create those matte and layers, I am putting them on my pillars. And you can see here, I puzzled them back into the so I could have this beautiful image, and it's not necessary. You can put them randomly. However, I do think that if you create those kind of a luxury wow effect, cards and project, it's always looking nicer if you've got your design like matching. So even if you won't be able to see all four sides of the pillar, if you look on it under the angle, you can kind of see continuation of the pattern. And this is something which improves, like put your card up to the next level. And now here are those 4 strips which we were cutting at the beginning. And again, I am doing exactly the same thing. I've got them 5-inch wide, so I need something slightly smaller than 5 inches, and then I will chop pieces into 2 and 2 centimeters or 7/8 of the inch, just so I could have the white border all around. And again, I am checking if it's matching, and once it's matching, I am then cutting the strips. These 2 and 2 centimeters one, or 7/8 of the inch, I just like kind of measured them down when I was cutting them, but it was very easy because it's an easy measurement. But for the pink color one, I did that technique where I placed the strip on the top of the card, and I'm always cutting from the same one. This is the less risk for your measurements to go off once you're passing them down, because you're always using the same strip as your guide. And this is very quick and easy, and this will save you a ton of the time. But as I've mentioned, it's not necessary. I just like for my cards to kind of, go that extra step, because I do think that they are looking nicer. And you can see here this beautiful navy color, matte sticking out underneath. Another solution to save you time, if you don't like to, create those type of cards where you have to cut lots of pieces, will be to use the ink. Just take a little sponge and go around the edges to darken them up, and that will be looking beautifully. My friends, now I'm cutting those strips, and here is what I was telling you about. I've changed the measurements into 13 centimeters so I could have the full pattern. If you've got the border punch or any other border die with this elegant lacy pattern, and you would like to use it, you can very easily change the measurement of those strips and then adjust them to whatever you're gonna be using. It's not necessary. This is absolutely additional step to do, but I just think that this is something which enhances the pattern. And quite often in my creation, I am trying to find the solution which will improve the card, which will make them to a next level. And this is one of those things, like adding those tiny details like a border, like matten layers, extra step. It's something which will really help your cards to stand out, and they will become this like one of a kind wowzer effect. And this is also a great solution to get rid of all those paper strip. If you've got like a 1-inch wide strips, you'll be good to go. You can slightly trim them to fit to these belts. Like you need 2 of those square belts, and that will be great for using up all those strips. So I've created 2 of them, and one will be lace facing upwards and the other one will be lace facing downward. And if you have any pattern paper you're using, make sure you orient them right way. So for example, on one of those square shapes, I do have a butterfly, so I am making sure that the butterfly is not flying face down, it's just set upward. But it's just something to let you know. And once you have your pieces ready, it's time to assemble them. So I'm adding a dash of the glue at the bottom of the pillar, and it doesn't matter which side you're gonna be adhere. All is matter, you kind of eyeball it so you could adhere them both in the same spot, like they're equal. And once you have them glued, wait for the adhesive to dry, then fold it and add the glue to the same pillar, like to the same side of the pillar. Make sure it's actually the same side, it's not the side like sideway, because it's not gonna be working. It won't work if you put the glue on the wrong side. And use your scoring board as a guide, and then adhere the top bits so they're gonna be nice and straight. And once you have it ready, your kind of base for the card is ready. All you really need is to create some sort of the front panel, and for that you can either cut the square and use punches, or you can use your dies. If you have the access to die cutting machine, you can cut some circle, some heart shape. It doesn't have to be square. I just use square because I had those punches on hand. I was creating a couple of the videos using the punches, and I thought, why not use them? I have this beautiful Marta Stewart punches, and these create me this beautiful lacy design. If you would like to see more about the punches and the measurements and how to create those borders all around, I do have a separate video on that. So I cut 2 of those panels and I've made them both exactly the same. I'm gonna be punching the other one just so they could be matching. It's better for this project we are making today. It will be better if you have like a matching layers to go on the front and the back. So once you glue them on the both sides, they will be like marrying each other. Here I am using a piece of the cardboard to kind of stiffen up the composition. A little piece of the cardboard in between the layers will give it a nice dimension, and it will also prevent it from bending. I didn't put it straight way up from the beginning, so once the glue was still hot, I just kind of take it off and I'm redoing it. Don't worry if something won't work first time. You can always, you know, help yourself to change it, and especially if you act quickly before the glue will completely dry, you'll be good to go. And now I am placing it on top of this square, and this will be my mat for the back side or for a front side. Either way, they're both identical. And here, this is this beautiful wedding couple. This is digital design, as I've mentioned at the beginning, but you can use whatever you like. You can use a photo. This will be a great card, great project to create for the anniversary or welcome baby. You can use some pink and or blue colors strips and then use the baby photo or something. This is absolutely amazing, and it's very, very easy. It's so much easier you know, to create it than once you see the final product, like once you see the final card, you'll like, oh wow, that must be difficult. But as you see here, this is just a bunch of the strips cutted and matted on those pillars, and two square you know, shapes to add on a top and on a bottom. That's really it. So it's very, very easy project, and I'm so happy you know, I found this post because I just absolutely love it. Now here you can see how it's gonna be look like, but before I think I'm gonna glue it here. I'm actually this was the work I was creating like 2 weeks ago or something, and I'm trying to, you know, I was recording the voiceover in Polish, so I'm now redoing it in English for you. So I'm sometimes like, oh, what did I do next? Anyway, so here is the back side of it, and I've used this white piece, this doily, so this is gonna be the place for the wishes. If you would like to have this nice wishes, I would recommend you to print them out and then cut them, but you can also write something. It would be better to actually do it now before you adhere it to your card. So I've added the first layer, the front panel straight away, but this one I'm gonna be dressing it up first, and then I'm going to be adhering it, so I'm not gonna squish the other bit which I did up front. And here I have this absolutely fabulous, you know, amount of the flowers, leaves, different decorative elements, and these are all from this art story shop, because I was creating this design team inspiration for their page, and I've decided to share the project with you as well because I absolutely love it so much. I have a couple of the chipboards, and this is not necessary to use, but I like this wooden effect. Like these are fabulous. If you don't have the access to the chipboards and you would like to use them anyway, if you have some dies which are like sentiments or nice frame, you can cut it like 4 or 5 times. And if you will cut it from cream color paper or slightly brown and then cream one on top, you will achieve the exactly same you know, result. You just have to stack them like 4 or 5 times, one on top of another, and you'll be good to go. I have a sentiment which says on your wedding day in Polish, because that's a Polish company, so the sentiment will be in Polish, and I am adding it here. With this chipboard you can also paint them, you can emboss them, but I've decided to kind of give them the raw wood effect because I think they're just looking here beautifully, and because they are glue on a white card, these are, you know, showing beautifully, and I don't have to do anything to enhance them. I'm stacking a couple of the leaves, and this is fairly flat composition, is very rich. There's a lot of the layers of the flowers, but they are each flat, so you can create this type of the composition using those ephemera ephemera pieces, like die cut bunch of the elements, but you can also stamp and cut some flowers, leaves, or punch them, whatever you like. That will be good to put. And even if you put like a lots of layers like I'm doing here, once the card is folded, it will be good for a postage. And because I'm not adding any dimensional like 3D flowers, like foam flowers or anything like that, nothing will get destroyed in a post. So here I've placed a couple of the leaves on a bottom layer, and now I am adding this chipboard element to go around. And then I am building up another layer on top for the floral composition. If I'm trying to create this kind of a wowzer effect. I am always trying to, squish as much as possible. I'm always trying to find like 2-3 different types of the flowers, different types of the greenery, so my composition will be nice and full and rich. I think it just makes the all work look kind of a more finished and more professional. And some elements I am trimming. If they are too long, don't worry, you can always like either rip it or trim the leaf, and no one will see it because it's gonna be glue underneath. So here is the front panel composition. I'm just gonna add a couple of the butterflies, and you can see here how card is folding. It's fold back and forth like both direction, and if it's working, like if you can fold your card both ways, that's mean you made it well. But it's very easy to do. It looks complicated at first, but if you cut those pillars, if you cut those like strips to go around those squares, it is so easy to do. You can change the sizes very easily, and I'm really encouraging, especially if you're a beginner crafter, try to create this kind of a 3D or pop-out cards from time to time. They will absolutely lift your skills and help you to improve your card making, and you can discover like new things you haven't done before. So I encourage you, and especially with the projects like that. Of course, I'm using here some punches and some die cut pieces, but this is not necessary. You can use whatever you have. You can use all the supplies, papers you have. That will be great to get rid of all those paper strips. So here you can see how this card is folding, how it's looking. I have this additional leftover piece from the chipboard, so I've decided to stack it. I'm gonna be showing you a couple of the close-up look photos, and please let me know if you watch up till this point. Let me know if you enjoy this type of the creation and you would like to see more. Thank you so very much everyone who's been supporting my channel, who's been joining, subscribing, commenting, sharing. I'm really appreciating all your support, and I'm so grateful. Here are some close-up look on this creation. Once again, thank you so very much everyone for being here with me. Please let me know in a comment what else you would like to see, what type of the card will be interesting for you, so I could make sure I'm creating the content which is best for you. Stay blessed, my friends. I wish you all a fabulous day. Bye bye.